Tejal Suresh from SIMS Economics Think Tank. In this video, I'll talk about the impact of COVID-19 on the Indian economy, a detailed analysis of vaccine production, and the way ahead for the Indian economy. Alright, so let's get started. In India, the first COVID-19 case was reported in late January in the state of Kerala, and with passing time, the numbers kept on rising. But this pandemic has not only affected the population but has also crippled the Indian economy. The lockdown to prevent the spread of this virus came with a huge price, a financial loss of $4.5 billion per day to our economy. COVID-19 had shut the doors of many sources of revenue across sectors, and the effects were clearly visible as the days under lockdown kept on increasing. First, unemployment spared neither white-collared nor blue-collared employees. 27 million youths in India alone were left jobless, a figure roughly 14 times the jobs lost during the Great Depression of 1930s. The unemployment rate during these initial months had reached 23%. Second, looking at the bigger picture of unemployment, with no jobs left, migrant laborers wanted to reach back home. For them, no jobs meant no money. And now, arranging their way back home proved a mammoth task, prompting the government to look into its already depleting treasury. Third, since the shutdown imposed multiple restrictions, there were limited transportation facilities, resulting in lesser mobility of goods and eventual disruptions of the supply chain as a whole. During the initial lockdown phase, less than 25% of the entire $2.8 trillion economy was barely functional, and with the rise in cases, it made the investors nervous, eventually resulting in a huge decline in the stock markets as investors pulled their money back. Sectors like FMCG, automobile and hospitality saw a huge decline as the demand slumped and procurement of raw materials went down. Most of them fell by as low as 20% to as high as 70%. With an estimated revenue downfall of $11,160 million as compared to the previous year and a 49% decline in passenger footfall, India could see 30 lakhs jobs lost in the aviation sector and the sectors dependent on it. Like two sides of a coin, lockdown proved to have two side effects for the retail sector. While there were many retail stores that were on the verge of shutting down completely, there were others like grocery and medical stores which took this as an opportunity to increase their business by catering to the public's demand of online shopping and having the goods delivered at their doorsteps. Leading departmental store DMart reported an 88% drop in net profits in the first quarter of this financial year. To the automobile sector, which had been trying to overcome a myriad of challenges, the outbreak of COVID-19 came as no less than a curse. It is estimated that this lockdown has pushed back this sector by almost 4 years. So, what can be the road ahead? The most probable solution to this could be an innovation of a therapeutic drug or any success on the vaccine front, which would be a great booster for the global as well as the Indian economy. Right now, there are 166 COVID-19 vaccines in various stages of development, out of which 24 vaccines are already in the human trial phase. And out of that, vaccine candidates are 5 that are in the phase 3 trial, that is the final phase of human trial, after which the vaccine is licensed, manufactured and finally distributed. Serum Institute of India has been in the news for a lot of good reasons. Why? because SII is one of the potential producers of a COVID-19 vaccine. SII is the world's largest manufacturer of vaccines with a production ability of 1.5 billion doses per annum. Even if it loses the vaccine race, there is a high chance that companies with vaccines will have to come to SII for mass production, as it has an advantage of the economies of scale. With SII being the largest manufacturer of vaccines, along with the donation of $150 million from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the cost can be brought down to $3 per dosage. Serum Institute will manufacture the COVID-19 vaccine developed by the University of Oxford, AstraZeneca and Novavax. Once they receive regulatory approvals and WHO pre-qualification, the doses are expected to be produced in as early as the first half of 2021, according to the Serum Institute. The Government of India is also taking steps to improve the pharmaceutical sector with this scheme, Production Linked Incentive Scheme or PLIS, which aims to promote domestic manufacturing of critical key starting materials or KSMs, drug intermediates and active pharmaceutical ingredients by incentivizing domestic production. The benefit from the vaccine production along with PLIS will give India key hold in various pharmaceutical markets across the globe. More investment opportunities, superior position in multinational forums and discussions, and overall a good name to the Indian pharmaceutical sector. As of date, we don't really know which of the vaccine candidates will be successful and go on for production. But until then, shoring up on the supply chains, which would be common for any of the candidates, would definitely be a wise idea, given that the global economy continues to lose around $500 billion per month, along with the unquantifiable human pain due to the pandemic. Therefore, spending on production and supply chain would be a good move. The public health and economic costs of the pandemic have sent shockwaves across the length and breadth of the Indian economy. Any solution or mere confirmed news on tackling the virus would definitely be a sentiment booster for the domestic as well as the global economy. For instance, as people get more certain about the future, they will start spending more. The increased consumption will then encourage businesses and producers to increase production and hire more workers for the same, hence increasing economic activity and a subsequent bump up of consumption. This virtuous cycle would result in increased demand and will therefore augment investment into building economic capacity. There are several intangible gains too, provided by vaccines, that are ignored by traditional economic analysts. These include outcome-related productivity gains, like improved cognition and physical strength, as well as school enrollment, attendance and attainment, and behavioral-related productivity gains, etc. Although things are not as good as it should be, but millions of people are fighting this battle with their biggest weapon, that is, hope. To quote Edward Council, hope is the beacon which points to prosperity. Thanks for watching this video. Please let us know your views and suggestions. It will help us in making more such videos for you in the future.